Happy Valentine's Day. Some of you out there may celebrate. Mama Snark and I don't.
Mm-mm.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But it's the one day we all love because what do we love about our soaps? Love in the afternoon. We're going to talk about that and the biggest feud to hit since Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Stay tuned. Hello out there in Snarkland. I'm Snark Jr.
I'm Mama Snark.
And we're here with episode 22, taping on Valentine's Day of all the days. Let's get right to it. I got a question of the week here. Is General Hospital possibly the most watchable soap right now?
It's working for me right now. It is working for me. In spite of the cast of thousands episodes where it's like they pull everybody out of the closet, everybody into the pool. And I love it. I have been utterly gripped this week. I have not fast forwarded. I have not looked down. Although I will admit that this morning I missed two snarks that I was going to do at the end of the episode because I had put them in the wrong folder. So there's that.
Yeah, I can tell it's the most watchable soap. I do kind of keep the pulse of all the soaps, but as many of you know out there, I do watch Days of Our Lives, and I have let myself get about 6 weeks behind in Days of Our Lives. Usually it's the other way around. I'm behind on General Hospital and trying to binge to catch up, especially for the Snark casts. But Days has just been, Ron really shit the bed when he did this soap within a soap. It's like he's getting out every grievance he's ever had with any producer, network, whatever. It got him fired from Days. But it really is the most unwatchable thing he's ever done. And the problem is they devote whole episodes to it. Whereas General Hospital is usually on while I'm making dinner or making breakfast or doing other things. But lately, I'm sitting down to watch it.
Right, because
no interruptions. Yeah.
it's gripping. Same with me. I mean, I remember the days when I whip out my iPad and play games and all this kind of stuff. That's not happening. Well, for one reason, because every scene is something different with wholly new people, because we got to fit in these people, and then let's cram all these people in a scene, and oh, we forgot these people, so we're going to throw them in too. I love it.
Whatever happened last year has resulted in the show being watchable again. I'm not expecting great things, but at least for those 36 minutes, however long the air show runs, it's compelling enough to keep me interested. So kudos to whatever's going on behind the scenes, because there's something.
So I made notes because we need notes, right?
Yeah.
I have to say, one of the things that's kind of working for me right now is I feel the ramp up on the Cyrus story.
Yes.
He's peered through everybody's window.
I feel there's a song in that.
I know. Looking through the window, you're going on my list. Yeah.
Well, as I said in the intro, everybody thinks the Kendrick Lamar Drake feud is the big thing. The big thing for me on GH is Lil Carly versus Cyrus. She was a cool cucumber in that interrogation room. Big Carly is always kind of snarly these days. If she were being grilled about going into Cyrus's room, she'd give them lots of attitude. Lil Carly, cool as a cucumber, just sitting back. Well, how do you know this blonde girl went into the room? There are a lot of blonde girls.
Everybody thinks that it's leading up for Joss to be recruited by New Jack to be a WSB agent. That's what everybody's thinking. And frankly, if she can hold her own like that, I'm all for it. And also, the more WSB agents we have, the more capers we have. If you remember, one of the best times, for me at least, with General Hospital was when Anna and Robert and Sean and Tiffany and all those guys were running around doing their various spy things. That was good stuff. And we haven't had kind of a theme like that lately, and I think we need one. So I
And that was
again,
mid to eight ladies. That was, I mean,
we were still in the
decade.
Cold War too, so
Yeah,
that helped.
yeah, yeah.
Now I don't know who we're at war with except ourselves, but hey, that's okay. And we've got
The enemy is within. The call is coming from inside the house.
inside the building, right? Well, and we've speaking of bad guys, we've got Sidwell, which can I just say that whoever decided to show us several months ago that Sidwell was this horrible person who wanted to play poker and kill people, and now he's suddenly moved to Port Charles, and even the people who know he's a bad guy are like, oh, look, he's walking around. And then we have Jordan going, I got this. I'm hot.
Yeah.
I'm sexy. I'll get him. And Stidwell's like, yeah, I will walk right into that honey trap. Thank you very much. And so this is good. I love this.
But in typical GH fashion, like it's been dropped this week. We haven't seen them in favor of that other couple, Trina and Kai.
Oh, what a waste of space.
Yeah, yeah. Although something I bet the writers didn't bet on, the more we see Trina and Kai versus Gio and Emma, the more I like Gio and Emma.
True story. I was going to say that. Gio and Emma, even if they never become a romantic couple, and which I'm way okay with, they have this great friend chemistry where Gio is the good boy and Emma is the loose cannon, and he's going to walk her through the process. But yes, they make a great foil for
That's a typical soap opera couple. That's a trope that's okay with me because you always want that. You want that sort of push and pull. And I gotta say, a lot of people complained, for lack of a better word, that we didn't make Gio the worst new character last year. Well, there was a reason. One of them, you pointed up last week, little twinkle in his eye. The kid can act.
He
We know
can.
a violin. He's good looking. He's perfect for a soap. I just think Frank got so obsessed over that violin thing. It got in the way of like stories. Now that he's actually being put into a story and he's not just lurking around the Q mansion commenting on everything, it's like he's becoming more and more likable.
I agree with you.
It's hard to believe they're all 21 now.
But I will say the element in those scenes that bothered me the most was Kai getting up and confronting Cyrus. That was stupid.
Yeah, listen, I get it. I promise you we're going to be leaving.
Yeah, you need to leave now. And I'll take care of your tab, but you should go before there's another incident.
Come on, come on, come on.
I was just protecting you because you're a poor little girl who's so tiny. You need me to stand up for you. Stop it.
And the writers remembered this plot point, so we got to use it. Why is it watchable lately? Because we're getting umbrella stories again. How many people are involved in this Cyrus storyline?
At least half the cast.
A lot of characters, especially Liz. Thank God. Liz Weber, Baldwin, whatever her last name is now, is finally back in the spotlight after how many years of being either not in story or subservient to other people's stories.
Oh my gosh. I am so glad we get mature Liz, we get smart Liz, we get capable Liz, we get curious Liz. And this is the one I like. And putting her back, we all knew that when Lucky came back, that it was likely those two would be thrown together. But
yeah,
I like the way they're doing it.
Me too.
It's been very slow and meaningful.
Yeah. I didn't at first because it looked like, Lucky's like, hey, I'm back. Let's just resume everything.
Yeah.
But now that it's backed up and he's slowed down, I like it a lot better. But I think, again, I don't know who the little magic elf is in the writer's room. They're remembering relationships. They're remembering connections, just little things like why Christina loves Lucky working at her bar so much, because their parents ran a nightclub.
That was such a great little historical nod. Yeah, we need more of that. That was great. Yeah. I had a real interesting observation. So I want to talk about my character of the week. I'm going to jump right in here and take over.
Da 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 da.
Da-da-da-da. Character of the week is Lucas Jones, whom I am loving. And I have a really interesting observation that hit me as I was watching these various bar scenes and that first date of Carly and Jack that was datus interruptus the whole time. People kept coming up to talk. Anyway, I realized that right at the moment, because Lucas and Maxie do not have main storylines, but they're both playing the same role. They are the confidant, they are the therapist, they are the cautionary tale provider, and they're both doing it with various people. And I like that. What I would like better is if Maxie and Lucas could move to a primetime storyline, because both of those characters, we got such a taste of Maximista with her talking to Jack, which he tried to interrupt her. She goes, "I'm still talking. I'm still
Right.
talking." And so we're
She's
going
great.
on. Yeah. And oh, by the way, my drink is on your tab. Thank you very much. So this is the Maxie we love. Lucas has a very similar energy to that. So how are you feeling
Yeah.
about Lucas, friend?
I'm feeling great about Lucas. A lot of people miss Ryan Carnes, and I get it. I mean, there have been 13 Lucases over the course. That's including babies. So
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, if you missed a Lucas, you missed probably some of the babies. The interesting thing about Lucas, and I think part of the reason why Ryan Carnes was so memorable in the role was because he played the role for the longest time, and also too, he played the role when Lucas came out. So it was completely expected when Lucas came back in 2014, thanks Ron Colavardi, to be played by Ryan Carnes again. I think, though, Ryan Carnes is sort of like the gay man's fantasy of what Lucas should be. And Van Hansis is more the reality of what Lucas should. He should be that very sensitive, easily hurt soul. He's been through the ringer. He's seen it all. He's done it all. And I get that. I know a lot of people like that. I just want to kind of sit back and let life happen. I don't really want to pursue things. But here's a little interesting note I learned last week from Snark patron Scott Olson, who I had lunch with in Chicago. Scott and I go way back. We did theater together back in the day, as they say. Matt Trudeau, who briefly played Lucas in between Ryan Carnes and Van Hansis, who sort of just disappeared, was one of Scott's acting students.
Oh, really?
And Scott was trying, yeah. Scott was telling him for years, with your looks, you should be on soap operas. And Matt resisted it. No, I don't want to do soap opera. And then he finally gets on a soap opera. And that's actually what got Scott back into General Hospital, was the fact that one of his students was on the show. Now he's off, of course, but he's starting to appear in a lot of those Lifetime, Hallmark.
Excellent. Oh, good.
He's that type. He's perfect for that type. And Scott's been coaching him for years. So I thought that was kind of neat.
That's a cool connection there.
Yeah. And I liked Matt Trudeau. He just wasn't really Lucas to me, because he just came out of nowhere, was on a handful of times, and then just disappeared. So, but good luck, Matt Trudeau. Great for you and your career.
Yes.
Yeah. My character of the week is, of course, I love characters. So I love character actors. And my character of the week is Elaine, who we don't know yet, who got hit. Mavis or Elaine. But I love, it's kind of funny. And I know this as a writer, and I'm sure you do too. It's kind of easier to create a minor character than it is a major character. Because,
absolutely.
And they've created Elaine with such love and detail. I love the fact that Felicia was talking about her being old school and taking notes and not relying on technology.
That's such a great detail that we don't get for other people, because we're watching them do their thing all day long, right?
Exactly. It's sort of like when Michael was talking about the realization that Willow's a cult child, and this is why she has the behavior. We don't get that enough with the main characters.
Right.
But I just love the details poured into Elaine. And I always forget the actress's name, but I love her. She's great. I wish there were more characters like her left on soap. Soaps are very bland these days.
Let's talk about the characters. Yuri would be considered a character. because he comes in and out, and we don't know a lot about him, but we know enough to like him, and that when he comes on, we relate to him. Who are some of the other characters? Well, we have the goons, but that's not quite the same thing. This is
Right.
an upscale.
Scotty is the perfect example of a character actor.
Yeah.
And Liesel Obrecht.
Would you say Marty is a character actor like that?
Yeah, but you know what? Michael E. Knight has sort of toned it down recently. I'm wondering if that's more for plot purposes, since they're gearing up for whatever they're gearing up for with Cyrus. But Lucy Coe is a character.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's many. So tell us, who's your favorite character? Let us know in the comments.
Over the years, because there have been many.
Oh, lots of great character actors, especially on GH.
Yeah. And Richard Simmons, let's not forget him. He was a caricature of himself, which is always fun. It's Valentine's Day, so let's talk about some of our budding couples that are happening. So yesterday, we're in the midst of the Cody, Molly, oh dear, I'm locked on the roof and freezing to death. How soon before they have to cuddle up together to get warm, and maybe even naked cuddling because they're so cold, and they find them the next morning with their lips blue and frozen to one another.
I just wonder why they don't use that staircase. Certainly it goes somewhere. Try another door. Rick and Ava, certainly. And didn't Ava look fabulous yesterday?
Oh, in her house pajamas? Those were excellent. They look very slippery and very comfy.
Well, it's good because it looks like she's slipping out of them right now. So there we go.
Assuming Sonny leaves, because right now he's
Oh, right. Yeah, and that made no sense because Sonny's sitting there in the diner with Nina. Oh, I'm just waiting for Diane. And then all of a sudden it's like, I gotta go.
Okay, so I think I know what this is. I think I figured it out. I think Sonny is having a change of heart, forgive the pun, about Ava and the custody, because he's really realizing he could be out in a minute because of his bum ticker. I do have a question about Sonny's bum ticker, though. Why did they tell us in one episode that he needed a pacemaker, and then on the airplane he gets a call from his doctor saying, never mind, I was wrong? Yeah. I feel like he's lying to everybody.
I do too. I think he's trying to...
He's covering up so that he can take care of business. I think that because he realizes in 3 months he's going to have this major operation, which isn't the pacemaker, but they're making it more scary by saying they're repairing his heart from his gunshot wound. Why they didn't do that when he was wounded, I don't know, but it's General Hospital, and you know.
And which gunshot wound? There have been so many.
We're all reading between the lines, not unlike what we did with Gio and the Dante Brooklyn situation. But they finally have decided what to do with Natalia. And everyone's best guess is that she's Sid Will's ex-wife.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
It does. And I'm glad they figured out how to tie her into the canvas. But this is talk about retconning someone because you want the actor. Well,
you know, it doesn't bode well that you write off her daughter, who was admittedly more popular than she was. In the brother ad infinitum, and then he never appears.
No, but people are saying now that once they make the Sid Will connection, that brother is going to likely show up, and they'll probably be casting for some Hispanic man soon.
There you go. Who's your favorite villain right now? Ooh, stump the panel.
Sid Will hasn't really villainized yet. I mean, he has in the past, but we don't know what his MO is yet, except blowing up Sonny, which everyone's all in favor of that.
I think that's a lot of people's MO. Yeah.
And Cyrus, I like Cyrus, but I need Cyrus to wrap up. We're in the middle of the crescendo.
Oh, Sidwell is more of a sustainable villain. He's like an Chandler, Palmer, Cortland, All My Children,
or Victor Cassadine. He's more like a Victor Cassadine type. Obviously, he's in Windermere, but they are writing Cyrus into a corner that I don't see them. Other than him going to prison forever or being killed, I don't see him coming out of this in any kind.
No, but at least they course corrected him, because the switch from uber villain involved with the mob to I'm going to redeem everyone was sudden, and we knew for how long that, like, oh, this has got to be a fake thing. Now I'm kind of wondering, well, maybe it's not. Maybe he's just a psychopath who thinks that he's
Maybe.
hating these people. So it's gotten more interesting, but yeah, it's about time. When half the town's talking about you murdering people, I think it's time to either kill them off or wrap it up. One or the other.
They've got to. And as we know, General Hospital has a really hard time finishing stories.
Yeah.
And what I'm afraid is that we're in this crescendo right now, and then they're going to go, oh, wait, never mind. And then Cyrus will go away for a while.
Let's work on this plot. Yeah. And then
don't do that. Let's wrap this up, because we're at a point now where he's looked through so many different windows and there's so many people on his list that, yeah. Anyway, that's how I feel about Cyrus. Or
I mean, look up window songs.
Close your blinds, people. Creepy.
Yeah.
You can see I had to close my blind back here because I didn't want any creepy people looking in the window while I was recording.
Like,
I want to save the best for last, which is the great unholy alliance of Nina and Carly.
oh,
This is going to be good. This is
I
going to be
hope so.
good.
So I hope so. It's interesting. Drew is off for a week, and we've been Cody'd to death this week. It's almost like Kara Matheson went to Frank and said, "Could you lay off me a little bit and give another character some stupid things to do? Because really, Cody's just been." Well, I got a new thing I wanna sort of talk about before we get to our favorite segment. I'm going to give you a soap recommendation every week.
Oh.
Now, not a show, like there's only 4 soaps.
Just keep watching General Hospital.
But last night, I highly recommend YouTube to people. And if you can afford it, YouTube Premium, because I never have to watch a single ad.
It has changed my life forever.
It's great because you never know what people are going to post. And one of the best things for soap fans over the last couple of years is people going through their VHS tapes and posting old episodes of soap opera. Because as you know, prior to 1978, well, most soaps were live, but they rarely kept a copy. And even when the soaps were taped, they would wipe the tapes because they thought, who's ever going to want to watch these again? Haha, little did they know. There's a lot of new YouTube channels cropping up. And there's this one, we'll put a link to it, that I discovered last night. Apparently, so did a lot of other people the last 2 weeks, because a lot of the stuff that's been posted on this channel has been in the last 2 weeks, and it already has like over 1,000 views.
Oh,
so
good.
you know there's a lot of soap fans still out there. The most interesting thing about this, Michael Poulier, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. And Michael, please tell us if we're not. He posted a bunch of One Life to Live tapes from one of my favorite eras of the show, which was the mid to late 70s. One Life to Live in the mid to late 70s was being written by 2 of the writers from Dark Shadows. Oh. There were also a lot of cast and crew from Dark Shadows that were on One Life to Live at that time. I loved the original Dorian, played by Nancy Pinkerton Peabody.
Don't remember her.
Was cool. Yeah, most people know. Everybody remembers Robin Strasser. And Robin Strasser did a wonderful job with Dorian, but it is not the OG Dorian that I knew. The OG Dorian was cool as a cucumber, never let her hand be seen, never, always functioned very behind the scenes. And the one plot line, trying to take away Vicky's first husband, Joe Riley, went on for, 4 or 5 years. I mean, she was a real cool cucumber. There were some great scenes seeing the old Victor Lord, the first Victor Lord. But one of the characters that nobody ever remembers was Dorian's confidant, Matt McAllister. People used to think I was crazy because I'm like, she used to have this confidant and he worked at the Banner and he was, and everybody's like, you're crazy. That never happened. Well, I'm not crazy any longer because thank you, Mr. Poulier. He posted 4 episodes with Matt McAllister.
Oh, fun.
And so I stayed up way too late. He posted a lot of, he's got a lot of the 45-minute episodes, which also people don't remember. So those run about 33 minutes, which just shows you how many commercials they
I
put
had
in.
no idea they did 45-minute episodes. When
Yes,
was
from
this?
July 1976 to January 1978, both One Life to Live and General Hospital were 45 minutes long. The reason they did that, now I'll have to check my facts, but I'm pretty sure, was because of Another World was expanding, and As the World Turns was moving from 1:30 to 2 o'clock. So to counter program that, One Life to Live started at 2:30 and General Hospital started at 3:15. That way they figured no one's going to switch the channel in the middle of the hour. It worked. Both GH and One Life to Live shot up in the ratings, and both got bumped up to 60 minutes in January of 1978. So
you are just a plethora of fun facts.
I'm also watching, I was always aware of the other soaps, but this channel also has old Search for Tomorrow episodes. It has the complete last week of Love of Life. There are a lot of As the World Turns episodes. I watched a live episode from 1973. I mean, again, nothing's happening, but it's riveting. It's so much more riveting than what happens today. I always say, put two characters at a kitchen table with a cup of coffee. I could watch that for hours.
And now it's time for text messages from Wicked Stepmother. She
Yay!
says, GH needs to fix the lock on the rooftop floor. How many times do people have to get stuck up there to get it reported and repaired? Maybe the stuck elevator could work as needed. And we all agree, because who goes up on a roof at a hospital? Have you ever been on the roof of a hospital? No, nobody does that. We love you, Port Charles. You're the weirdest place in the world.
So,
Yes,
hey,
we're so
if
grateful.
you like the Snarkcast, please like, subscribe, follow, and tell your friends. Also tell them about the page. So check us out if you haven't. Until next week.
Wait, hold on. I have a last minute news break. Starting next week, the Snark Beyond the Gates will begin, because we have a new soap opera. We've never snarked anything from the beginning. We're going to give it the old college try. I'll post the link to that page in the comments. Please tell your friends, ask us questions, and follow behind the scenes, because this old lady needs all the likes she can get. Anyway, love you all. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.